Right, we've got Persians versus Vikings, which we'll come to in a second. But let me just check the maps that the maps look okay. I can see two boars, main gold over here. Everything looks fine for Dogao. And then Vodka, we have one boar, two boars, gold, gold, and his third goal's over here. Okay, so everything looks fine to me. Don't think there's any particularly threatening bugs on this map. So we have Dogao in the bottom corner over here as Persians in the blue, and we have Vodka over here in the sort of top right in the red as Vikings. So obviously Vikings are a pretty strong Arabia Civ, often underestimated by a lot of players, not necessarily top players I'm talking about here, but just sort of like generally amongst the community. They're not obviously at the actual very top tier, but they are a real powerhouse because in the Castle Age they have that free handcart, and of course in the Feudal Age the wheelbarrow kicking in. And if you do something like crossbows with Vikings, that can be very strong because it's just backed up by such a powerful economy from the free handcart that they do have a period in the game up until the kind of a few minutes into Imperial Age where they are very, very powerful and a very, very fast civ. So a good pick on Dry Arabia with these settings, I think. Meanwhile, Dogao with the Persians, which is an interesting civ because obviously they benefit from a very good economy with the extra food and wood to start off with that kind of snowballs into the rest of the game as well as the faster town centres. So I was just looking at the chat, but also trying to figure out if there's anything going on, restart or pause wise or anything. But I haven't received a message, and the players did pause briefly, but now they are continuing. And I think everything's going to be fine. I didn't see anything that would make players think that the maps are bugged. But obviously Persians can do a lot of different things. They obviously, if Vikings do go for that crossbow play, Persian knights with the bonus against archers could work very well for Dogao. But we'll obviously see different styles coming in for the players. I should think. I don't think Dogao is likely to kind of mirror the crossbow style that Vikings would go for, just because it doesn't transition well into the Imperial Age for Persians. He might make some, of course, but I don't think he'll be trying to push a lot with crossbows and siege, or ultimately the Vikings can do arbaleths and siege, obviously. Let's have a look at the maps as well. You can see that there is kind of a lot of wood on this map, which you do find with Dry Arabia, but also I had to make sure that there's a little bit more wood on the map than you're perhaps used to, just to get the woodline generation kind of consistent, because sometimes one player would have really far wood and it would suck. But so woodlines for Dogao looking pretty nice, like over here for example, and he's got tons in the back corner of this map actually. Almost looks like the scenario it like had a load of wood left and decided to just, the random map generator just decided to chuck it all down here. But main gold in the back as well, and defensible from a hill as well. That's pretty nice for him. Other gold down here as well, so that's really safe, and he can wall this whole area off probably like this, I would say. Little wall here and some production buildings perhaps. Third gold pretty close as well. Stone is looking a little bit out of the way for him. Where's his main one? Over there. But otherwise pretty Vodka is being nudged by Dark Devil, and Vodka says, in the rare case that I win this, I will probably have to replay it anyway, and the players are laughing, and Dogao is saying, such a good friend. That's pretty hilarious if you're not familiar with the controversy that those players have been involved in. I'm not going to go over it here in the interests of diplomacy. Vodka replying, you wish you had a friend like that. Meanwhile, Vodka's map looking pretty good as well, I'd say, but it's probably not as strong as Dogao's. Good wood lines, main gold not terribly exposed, but it's fairly close to his TC, and he can wall in front of it. Two stones at the front, but I'd say that gold's pretty nice, but his third one is kind of a long way away, even if, although it is towards the back of the map. In between the two players, we do have this big plateau, which could prove pivotal. One player might end up producing from some forward buildings on here, or maybe getting a castle on here and pushing towards the opponent's base. It's a little bit closer to Dogao, I would say, so it's possibly a slightly better staging post to push into Dogao's base than it is to push into Vodka's. But I'm going to guess we're going to see quite a lot of the fighting on this map. If it doesn't take place in the players' bases, it will be around and about this middle plateau. And there's a relic here as well, just to make there be a little bit more of a prize, along with one over here. And then the remaining 3 are all over towards the left-hand side of the map in the left corner, more or less. Dogao almost using his scout to Vodka's TC, but he pulls it away on 12 hit points. See both players doing Palisade Wars. Dry Arabia is usually very conducive to Palisade Wars and Call to Arms. 3 players tries Dry Arabia. That's very much valid for that map too, but it just requires a lot more effort, as you can see. But yeah, Vodka's walling, but Dogao not doing it yet. It's kind of surprising because I seem to remember him doing quite a lot of walling against Eddie. But I'll just kind of look at what he's actually thinking of doing. He's gone up on 20 population as Persians, so I guess it could be 20 pop scouts, although he hasn't split his lumber yet. Doesn't necessarily have to, because that lumber count is still looking pretty efficient. But scouts against this walled off of Vodka that's come up very early may not work out to his advantage. Yeah, it's doing a stable, so I think we're seeing scouts from him again. Getting all those eco upgrades the moment he hits Feudal Age, which is always a good idea when you're going for a low population scout rush. Missing Horse Collar or Bit Axe can really come back to bite you a few minutes later if you don't get those. Meanwhile, let's have a look at what Vodka's doing. For now, I don't see any real clues. He's clicked up to in terms of the buildings that he's putting down, but if you look at his population, he's clicked up to the Feudal Age on 26, so he might be trying to do something like a 26 plus 2 fast castle. Looking at the layout of his economy, that could actually be viable. Doing a barracks, so he could also just do like archers with a slightly higher population. Because I don't think he's actually going to have the food to click up into the Castle Age. So he may actually do feudal archers, but with the 26 population up. It's hard to say. I want to see if Dogao's actually... Nice. Hasn't produced scouts. So once again he does a scout rush, comes up against walls and then stops producing them. This time he stopped it after producing just 1 extra scout though, I think. He's on 2 military. And he's going to stonewall everything. So this game, this Call to Arms is going to be about stonewalls. There's been a lot of walling in these games. But both players setting up for slightly longer game, no real feudal aggression going to come in here. Probably Vodka will just continue producing villagers from the town centre, so it's not quite a fast castle as such, but not really committing anything too much in the Feudal Age and just walling everything, keeping the TC running and going up on like probably 29 or 30 villagers. Looking at these walls that Dogao's doing, they could be quite easy to push into for Vodka later on, because you know, he'll be able to apply pressure to the walls whilst keeping his army on a hill. So like mangonelling down from the top of a hill could work quite well. And Persian walls, with the exception of Goths, are the worst in the game, because obviously Goths don't get stone wall at all, but Persian walls pretty terrible. So Vodka could well be able to push in fairly easily, especially as there's so much walling as well. Like you could attack one spot on the walls and then go and attack somewhere else, and it's hard to reinforce stone walls that are so far away from your TC. But Vodka on the way to the Castle Age whilst getting horse collar on the way with 28 villages actually. He must have idled his town centre just for a moment, because he was on 28 villages and 650 food, so I guess he's still on 28 villages but on his way to the Castle Age. Dogao meanwhile is still about 150 food and 70 gold away, so that scout play has slowed him down a little bit, but with Persian TC he will probably be able to catch up, especially as he's going up to the feudal age with more villages than Vodka has working for him whilst he's going to the feudal age. Obviously though, on the other hand, that free handcart kicking for Vikings is really strong, so it's hard to say if either player has managed to gain a slight economic advantage over each other in through their choices of strategy so thus far, because both of them have done a military strategy that hasn't really involved any real attacking, and it's just about like which one got slowed down slightly more by producing a unit or two, or the timings that they went for. See, Dogao is using his 2 scouts just to get really good map information right now, using both of them to explore. He's managed to find a stone up here, but he's not finding the extra relics until now. He'll find that one. May find this gold here if he turns to the right. But no, he's missed that for now. We can see that both players have basically got 2 extra golds on the left side, sort of far away from their walls in their halves of the map. But extra relics somewhat favouring Dogao, with them all being in this corner. Dogao continuing to reinforce his stone walls and adding a lot of villages to stone as well, because he needs to make a lot of stone back in order to drop town centres, of course. Meanwhile, Vodka's been in the Castle Age for a little while. He's now deleted that front wall and is getting a town centre up. Just as 2 of Vodka's scouts turn up, Dogao's scouts turn up, but I doubt they're going to be getting a villager pick off. Perhaps this one, but the scouts on way too low hit points. Both players are just too military for now as well. Seems like Vodka did lose his scout somewhere. But for now it's looking like a very eco-oriented approach, which could work for Vodka if he goes sort of a fast boom with Vikings into Arbalests and Rams could work really well. But at the same time, if he lets it go on a long time into the Imperial Age, like more than 5 minutes into the Imperial Age, that is the point where he could start to struggle. You know, if Persians get Cavaliers, Vikings could find that very difficult to deal with. One of Dogao's exploring scouts went down, then the other one was still in the middle of the map, patrolling around, seeing if anything's happening on this middle hill. I think Vodka is probably going to be prioritising relic collection, but Dogao could just have seen that one actually if he was lucky. Yeah, he's going to spot that. Don't think he's going to be able to kill them. Yeah, he actually is. I thought with the scout attacking uphill, the monk might just have enough time to get that conversion off, but even surviving the fire from the archer on 3 hit points and taking down a monk, that's a really nice pick from Dogao, and he's getting some use out of that extra scout he produced, as well as getting all the map exploration. Taking down a monk of Vodka's is really nice. That's 100 gold down the drain. Of course he's going to come and have another go at getting this relic though, and if he gets the relic in the bank, then the 100 gold he lost then doesn't come into play quite as so much. It isn't such a big deal. Town centres wise, we now see Dogao on his second, whilst Vodka is on 1, 2, 3. So he's going to be pulling ahead in villages for now. Obviously Persian town centre, oh actually no, Dogao is on 3 as well. So I guess Dogao will catch up sooner or later with the extra TC work rate that the Persians have. So I think we're going to see both players doing a kind of 3 TC mini boom. certainly that's probably Vodka's best option from here if he's going to do Arbalests and Rams, as I predict, and just try and push really fast, because I don't think he wants to take it to late game, as I said. Whereas Dogao, like, he might do a 3TC mini boom into Knights, or he might just go for like more full boom approach, maybe even a 4th town centre behind the stone walls, and really just boom it out and get to the late game where he'll have a really nice time, I should think. But he's dropping an extra stable, so he could be doing mini boom into Knights, which is, I feel like Vodka would probably have a better time dealing with that than he would if he just did full boom. Villager-wise, Dogao has reduced the deficit a little bit already, taking advantage of those Persian town centres, although it could be that 3 are about to pop out of Vodka's TCs too. Actually not really making use of his town centres quite as good as he could have done then. He had like tons queued up in one TC, and then nothing in the other one for only a second, I guess, but food in the bank, he could be avoiding that any idle time at all. See if Dogao's making Knights from his stables, or whether... Yeah, he's starting to mass up a few, and he doesn't really have a bank of food, so he's gonna, if he continues to run 3 town centres and 2 stables for a while, that will confine him to the Castle Age for a lot longer than Vodka will be there, because he's already looking like he can go to the Imperial Age. He's actually adding a 4th town centre just on that extra gold pile right now, and he's got a university and a monastery, and that's allowing him to click up to the Imperial Age. 25-minute click up to the Imperial Age with Vikings, and I almost certainly think that he'll be going for those Arbalests and Rams to try and push Dogao as quickly as he can. And if Dogao's Imperial Age time is delayed, then Arbalests, providing that Vodka gets all the upgrades he needs, like chemistry and bracer, and making sure he doesn't miss thumb ring as well, and also adding his pikeman as well, so he's kind of reading what the guy's going to do here, perhaps knowing that he needs to defend against Persian knights or perhaps cavaliers in the end. But yeah, I think that Vodka will have a decent chance here. He needs to start massing army though, because obviously the guy is already producing knights, whereas Vodka hasn't really started to make mass army at all yet. Missing the crossbow upgrade as well. Like, if he wants to do Arbalest, then he has to drop more ranges pretty soon. But so for now, just extra barracks going down. He seems to want to spam a lot of pikemen in amongst the Arbalest that I presume we're going to see. But as time goes on, it's looking less and less likely that he's actually going to opt for that. Is he really just going to go like Imperial Age pikemen? I highly doubt it. But I'm not seeing any more archer ranges for now. So interesting play from Vodka. Probably a little bit disappointed he's only got 1 relic at this point, considering he did invest quite a lot in getting those monks early on, and he only got in 1 relic and had to make 3 monks in total. Yeah, he's just throwing down more and more barracks, so he's just going full pikeman. I think he kind of knows that perhaps that Dogao is... No, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything at all. He sieged the forward siege workshop and he's throwing up a castle to defend from it, but he knows nothing about what Dogao's doing in terms of the knights. He's just obviously predicting it because it's a reasonable assumption to make. And look at all these forward villagers that he's actually going to intercept. It's harder for him to really kill them with those pikemen, but it's just a really nice catch here actually. Massing up all his pikemen just as the guy comes forward, getting up the castle, which will allow him to do lots of damage to those knights. And I'm surprised as the guy's kind of hanging around here. I mean, he can obviously take down these pikemen with those knights, but he will sustain losses. And Vodka's sitting here with half a dozen barracks now, actually, producing pikemen from all of them. Remains to be seen if the guy's going to have enough here to actually ram down his castle. He's got 3 rams. Which will take quite a long time to take down the castle, especially with a little bit of repairing going on. Dogao is maintaining just enough knight numbers now to tank against those pikemen, but with 5 or 6 pikemen being produced at a time, I don't know if that will actually carry on being the case, and those knights are suddenly starting to go down It's really tight, like, especially as the Rams are taking so long to remove the castle from the equation and may not even manage to do that at all. I'm just going to slow it down a tiny bit because we're running up against the host time too much. But yeah, the full Viking pikeman strategy for Vodka is suddenly starting to pay off against Dogao's 3TC mini-boom into Knights and Rams. And Dogao's also done a forward castle here, which could get Treb down if this castle stays up, but it's hard to tell if it's going to. I think it will because its HP isn't going down that fast anymore. It's ridiculous how long it takes pikemen to destroy Rams, but with the aid of a mangonel behind the castle, that's actually going to happen. Vodka's reinforced everything with stone walls, and I think Vodka looks in a great position here to take down the favourite, you'd have to say, Dogao, on his home map of Dry Arabia. Obviously, Persians are still much better civ in the long run, but Vodka has good advantage for now. Producing a trebuchet to try and start taking care of the castle on the hill, and the thing for Dogao is that he's made a lot of knights there, and he's actually clicked the Imperial Age, but with no resources in the bank and only 5 knights on the field. So this is going to give Vodka a good couple of minutes to try and make something happen. I'm going to see if he's actually knows where all those relics are on the far left of the map. Oh, he's found one over here, which he's going to look for. Let's have a look at Dogao's base. Looks like he stayed on the 3 TCs for now. Villager numbers more or less equal between the two players, so no real difference in economies, but Vodka's sitting there with 1,000 gold in the bank and has army at this point, whereas Dogao has a lot less in the bank. Will need those Imperial Age upgrades when he gets there. Isn't really prepared for any transition into anything but knights, and it looks like he's just going to go with mass cavaliers and just hope that that is enough. Obviously a cavalier is stronger than a pikeman in any fight, but you do need, against this numbers of pikemen, he will need a lot of cavaliers. And of course, pikemen, if you lose like 30 pikemen killing 20 cavaliers, then that's a decent trade for you in terms of economy and gold. And this is just really interestingly poised now. 3 trebuchets for Vodka, attacking uphill obviously, so it's taking a little bit longer, but I feel like that castle will go down pretty soon. I'm surprised not to see more archies doing it now. He's finally going to go into those arbalests as well. And with sort of like 30 pikemen, and then if he adds a lot of arbalests and siege behind it, that would look like a very strong army for Vodka. Meanwhile, Dogao hitting the Imperial Age, getting cavaliers straight away, but he's actually getting up to sort of 20 military, which would start to look a little bit better for him. But nonetheless, this is just a lot of pikemen from the Vikings player here, and Viking pikemen being a little bit stronger, of course, as well. Lacking halberdier is bad for Vikings, but they're doing at least benefit from a tiny bit more extra HP. And Dogao, whilst he's getting those upgrades, is trying to run into Vodka's base, but it looks like he's going to get trapped. Not really able to do any damage with Vodka's quick walling, and taking a bit of damage on those knights. Wow, this could be a big pick though. He could take down 3 trebuchets and a mangonel. We'll see if those pikemen can get there to save the trebuchets just in time, but I'd have thought that Vodka would lose at least one. Let's see. No, I think Vodka's going to have to get out. I mean, sorry, Dogao was going to have to get out there. And that's a whole bunch of cavaliers taking hits from pikemen and going down. Well, Vikings full pikeman is viable at 2k++ level, apparently. But Dogao is not going to fight this head up against a counter unit forever. He's going to get chemistry, which means we'll see hand cannoneers coming in for him soon. Sitting there with 1,000 gold in the bank, but not enough food. You see, he's trying to raid Dogao's eco a little bit, but not really doing too much because he can't get into the main base. Those cavaliers coming back for another bite at the trebuchets. Going to take down 1 or 2, but a lot of cavaliers are going to go down before Dogao there. Losing about 6 cavaliers, and he hasn't even taken down a treb. 6 Cavaliers and no Trebs gone down. Meanwhile, Dogao is starting to make a little bit of economy in other areas of the map, secure some extra resources, found a gold pile on the left, whilst the Vodka making tons of pikemen on the left hand side, so he's going to push with pikes and siege through this wall perhaps. And that pikeman number is just crazy, it's up to 65 military. Let's see how many pikemen he actually has. 46. With now about 15 archers and 5 trebs or so. A lot of cavaliers moving in for Dogao over here, but once again they're just not really going to be able to get through. I mean, they could stick around and batter down a barracks and try and run in, but I feel like whilst they're away, Vodka will probably be inflicting a lot more damage on Dogao's base, considering it's backed up by all this siege. So the thing is, like, maybe Dogao is actually using his army in the best possible way, because he just can't touch this with the sheer number of pikemen that are actually there. He's desperately trying to find a way in, I think, but Vodka is fully walled, he's got stone everywhere, and he's quick walling nicely whenever he needs to. Looks like Dogao's trying to get a sneaky pick on that Treb at least. If he's able to get the right angle of attack with a Cavalier and run in there, he could take down 2 more Trebs really quickly, because those ones are almost dead. Vodka trying to secure this hill with another castle, but Dogao at least picks that one off. You can see leather archer armor coming in, 5 archer ranges, so he's actually ready to do hand cannoneers now, and this could be the turning point, because Cavalier plus hand cannoneer is obviously a combination which has a ridiculous amount of firepower, and together I think it takes on the combined arms that Vodka has with the pikemen and the arbalests pretty well, but Vodka just has that huge massive army right now that Dogao doesn't have. He's up to 85 military units, which is insane. And Vodka did get that castle up there. Meanwhile, the Trebs from Vodka could be vulnerable to a couple of Cavaliers running in the back, but it seems like he's going to spot that with his pikemen. Dogao has found Vodka's forward building on the left with an outpost. I presume you can see all of that. Anyway, yeah, you can even see the garrison siege workshop. He's going to try and take a stone from over there, but he'll have to try and deal with the army that's over there in order to mine that stone safely. More siege workshops coming out for Vodka. I guess we'll probably see some more rams from him, maybe. But Dogao's finally chosen this moment to let those hand cannoneers out of his siege workshops. But there's enough arbalests there that he can't really, doesn't really want to stand there and take that fight. He might take it if he chooses the hill, but I still wouldn't advise him to. There's a lot of arbalests there, and with the slow rate of fire of the hand cannoneers, arbalests do very well against hand cannoneers. Seems like one more, bombard cannons as well for Dogao, which is nice, because those Trebs are on low HP and one hit from a bombard cannon could take them down. But Vodka's army shows no signs of diminishing, holding firm at 85 army and closing in on the population max as well, 185 population, and Dogao's army is just doesn't have the numbers. Oh my god, this is spoiling the top left, but I think you can see how this game has gone. You don't need me to tell you that this game is over, because you can see that Vodka, with the sheer massive units and the unconventional Viking pikeman spam, has defeated Dogao, and I think few would have expected that, but very well played by Vodka. He is the new Call to Arms champion. Dogao becomes the second player to get to week 3 and then fall at that hurdle, which I think is the most difficult week, because you don't yet have Huns, Mayans and Aztecs, but you've already used 9 other civs, so you've only got 6 other civs, so you've only got 9 left. And this is a pretty surprising result, but incredibly well played by Vodka, and I think he's like thought this through very well, actually, despite not preparing too well beforehand because he hadn't looked at the maps, but he's thought his way through games 2 and 3 pretty well with civ choices and strategies, and I'm looking forward to seeing how well he does in Call to Arms in the next one. So let's just have a look at the achievements. See, Dogao boomed much higher, but I think he got those bills too late for it to actually count in his favour. Dogao with the huge army largest army of 90 to the 39 of Dogao, and Dogao, although like he got strong units in Cavaliers, he just couldn't touch it. Couldn't touch Vodka's army just because he had so many units that were countering his. Couldn't take any fights. Tried to do some raiding at home, like Vodka's home, and just couldn't get in. And then the just like slow, massed up push with some siege was decisive in the end. Dogao even collecting 5,000 more gold, but Vodka didn't need it. He was just like, I'm just going to carry on making pikemen. Thank you very much. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm